My name is Jasper Bongertz. I'm from Germany. I know we lost, so no more jokes, please. And I don't care anyway. Just a little. I'm talking about something that I saw a while ago on LinkedIn, I think, where somebody said, "My Miyagi." And I was like, what is this? This looks like it's Karate Kid or something. And it was, sort of. Because the post was about mentoring people. And that is important to do that, especially if you know what you're doing or you think you know what you're doing. Because if you're mentoring people, you very often find out that you don't know everything. And you get a lot of questions that help you get better at what you do. So what I see in my company, and I work for Airbus, I have a lot of younger colleagues that are just getting their feet wet. And very often they need somebody to guide them in a specific situation. For example, how to deal with an angry customer sometimes. And I've done that a lot. I mean, if you do network analysis, the typical thing that happens is you get into the company that you're going to help. I did that for a couple of years as a freelancer, and nobody wants to have the blame, so they don't like you when you come in because you're going to be the one who points at somebody saying you're the one who had the problems. So that kind of situation is always a bit difficult, and I learned how to deal with that. The secret basically is to tell everybody, hey, we're in this together, we try to find a solution for this kind of thing, and everybody will be off better. That usually works. And that is the kind of thing that young colleagues of mine still need to learn, because they get into that situation and they don't know how to deal with some of the hostility. So I had a Miyagi myself. A good friend of mine that I met in 1989, I think. He was working already when I was still in school, and he let me use his Amiga when he was working. So I skipped school and went to his place and played on his Amiga. Which nobody knew until now. Anyway, he was basically giving me the advice and freedom to play around with technology. And a lot of what I do now is because of him. In 2003, he was like, hey, I'm going to start at this company. They're selling Sniffer Pro software. Why don't you join us? I'm like, yeah, I'm just now doing computer games, but it doesn't look too good, so yeah, why not? And so I joined with him in that company, and we sat in our first Sniffer Pro training together, having no idea what was happening on screen, because it was all these packets, and we were like, I don't know what this is, but we're going to find out, right? So that's what we did. We worked together, and he was teaching me about all the digital equipment stuff that I never touched, I think, in the end, but there was a lot of things that I could learn from him, and now what I'm trying to do is to do the same. So one of the reasons why I'm presenting and teaching whenever somebody asks me, just like now, is that maybe I can help somebody just a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit, it can help. And a while ago at our company, I had a guy who was supposed to put a tap somewhere into a network, and he didn't know how to do that. And so I was asked to help him. Now there's two things that you can do. You can either take over and do it for him, which some people do, or you can be doing what I did. I was like, okay, here's the device. What would you do now? He's like, I don't know. Okay, you can do something nobody ever does. Read the instruction first. So he did that, and it didn't help because the instructions weren't really good. So what I did with him was like, hey, come on, we're just setting up a couple of devices as if it would be the situation that we're going to be in, thank you. And then we tried to get some data out of it. And I let him play around with it. And he was like, hey, can I break it? Can it get damaged if I do something wrong? I'm like, if it gets damaged, I mean, this is a couple of €1,000. Somebody did something wrong in the engineering department, and we're going to get a replacement, of course. I was pretty sure that it wouldn't break, because these things, it was a very simple tap. It was nothing special, just an aggregation tap. So I let him play around with it, and he was plugging in cables and testing everything. And the testing process was interesting too, because he was like, okay, I need to test this thing. How do I do that? It's like, what do you think you should do? And then he came up with the ideas like, maybe I want to see what happens if I pull the power and if the link stays up. And I said, well, let's do that. And we continued down that path, and it educated him a lot. So afterwards, I heard from my boss like that he went to him and said, this was the best thing ever because I wasn't told what to do. I could find out myself, and if I needed something, I could ask for it. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I think that's what we're all trying to do here. And just ask questions, and we'll try to help you. Thank you.